I hope that having that universality will allow people to see that people that are Asian American, people that are trans, people that are Iranian American, they're just people, and we're all just humans, and we all have these stories and these emotions that are interconnected, and that is the power of cinema.
Hey, it's Kristen, and today we are talking with the cast and creatives of the film
See You Then, premiering at South by Southwest.
To start with you, Mari, I mean, you're wearing so many hats in this film, editor, writer, director. Where did this inspiration come from, and what was it like tackling all of these aspects in your first feature?
I had always had the dream to direct. That was something I'd been wanting to do since I was a sophomore in high school. So all the things I had written, of course, up until See You Then, were way far out of the budgetary range of a first-time director. So I really had an interest in sort of telling a chamber piece, working and focusing on working with two actors. And at the time, I had all these thoughts and themes of femininity and what does it mean to be a woman? What does it mean to be a mother in society? How do we find a work-life balance? All these things were sort of rolling around in my head as Kristen Uno, my co-writer, and I started to write it. And it kind of became a form of art therapy. And then, the characters came to life and we fell in love with them, and then we felt guilty about ruining their lives. But that's just the way these stories evolve. And I think for a lot of first-time filmmakers, we have to wear a lot of hats. But I think it's also really helpful because I think as directors, the best thing that we could do is know what every person on the team is working on and how hard that work is, so that we could just have a greater appreciation and an understanding, and to be able to have that language to be able to discuss with them, especially as we work on bigger films.
Pooya and Lynn, what was it like joining this project? What made you interested in being a part of it?
I received an email along with the script from a casting office telling me about this project about 2 years ago, and a personal letter from Marie saying that she had seen a film that I had done in the same festival that her short film had been in, and she liked my work for X, Y, and Z reasons. And she was working on a certain project that she wanted me to be a part of. So my first response was, "Oh, this is a prank. Somebody's just this can't be real because this doesn't happen this way." And I turned it to my agents and I said, "Well, I don't know about this, but you figure out whether or not this is real." And they got back to me and say it is very real. I read the script. As I remember it, I gasped. There were moments I couldn't breathe. I was like sobbing as I wanted to see, oh my God, what is going to happen? I read it twice, and then I reached back to Maria and said, I would love to be part of this. Then I came to LA in December of 2019. Time is so malleable these days. December of 2019 for the chemistry read for the final choices for the actresses that were going to play Naomi. And I went and introduced myself to Lynn, who was waiting in the waiting area. We just did the scene. I felt so connected with her. I saw her vulnerability and I wanted to do it. And when we started working on it, it was just, it was intense, but it was a gift. It was a true gift to be able to tell these stories with these amazing people and to get to act opposite the wonderful, magnificent Lynn Chen, who's now going to tell her side of the story.
I came about this project the way I come about a lot of the projects that I do, which is an audition. I got the breakdown, I got the sides, I got the script, I got a link to Mari's first short to watch if I was interested. And everything ticked off, read the sides, was like, this is interesting. Read the script, was like, this is very interesting. Watched her movie, was like, I want to be a part of this. And, I feel like the worst thing for an actor is when they go into an audition and they're just like, I really want this, because you just reek of desperation. But when I showed up to the audition, I saw that where it was taking place at Vanishing Angle, who's the production company, it was the same place I had filmed my own directorial debut a year ago. I didn't even realize that it was the same exact place. And I thought, well, this is a good sign. And so when I walked in there, I just walked in with the confidence of somebody who was a colleague rather than, please give me a job. It was more like, well, I've been here before. I've been in those shoes before of first time director, and let's help each other. So by the time I got cast, I, of course, really wanted this part, so much so that when I had gone to Paris with my husband for Thanksgiving, I spent most of the time memorizing lines for my callback instead of hanging out with him or going to the museums, because I wanted this part so badly. Because for me, it was as essential as, I just had to give it my all. And so for me, it was just a part of what I wanted to be doing and the story I wanted to be telling. And so I was really grateful when I finally was able to. And that's part of why I think what you see is so special, because what Mari created was so special, and that was just apparent from the beginning.
It's very obvious how passionate all of you are about this project, which is amazing to see. But Pooya, you mentioned that Mari sent you a letter. Mari had seen your work. I'd love to hear, Mari, from you. What was it about Pooya's work that made you want to reach out and you wanted her to come in for this?
I had seen her in the short called On the Date, and Iris, who directed, she's an amazing filmmaker in her own right, but also there was just something about, I think there are rare qualities in actors and qualities I look for, and one of them is somebody who is able to be an emotional conduit, who's able to sort of take these emotions and these themes of these stories and sort of distill it into just an emotional human performative reaction. And I just, there was just something about the short. The short was great, but there was something about Pooya, and I was just like, there's something there that I can't quite define in words, but I was like, but I have to work with her, but I don't know if she's gonna like it. So I wrote this letter and I sent it to her like, I hope that you respond to the material. And then when Pooya and I talked for the first time over Skype, I cried, because she was like, let me just explain what I saw and what I felt. And then she just sort of ticked off like, here's the themes, like this is what the character went through, this is the character backstory, this is this thing. And I was just like, I don't know. I was like, I got nothing. And that's the most beautiful thing when you're directing and you've written something and you care about it so much and somebody else responds to it. And I was just so fortunate.
What do you hope that people take away from this story, especially in terms of, womanhood and the transgender experience?
I hope that the film has a universality to it, that it allows the audience to take a walk in these characters' shoes. I think that the themes of the film are very universal. The themes of loss and the themes of guilt, of feeling like you hurt somebody and you want to make amends, or that something that happened once long ago in your life has derailed all the choices leading up to where you are now. I hope that having that universality will allow people to see that people that are Asian American, people that are trans, people that are Iranian American, they're just people, and we're all just humans, and we all have these stories and these emotions that are interconnected, and that is the power of cinema.
I hope that the different characters that are represented in the movie and the communities they represent, those individuals feel seen and that their stories are being told, but also on a larger scale, because these characters are so full and they're like, there's no hero or villain in this story. They are just human beings who have their blind spots, their wants, their desires, their shortcomings. And I feel that it can show people that the trans experience is just a human experience, because most of the time it's presented as this other experience, like the human experience is here, and then there's the trans experience, like a whole different island. And maybe this can show people that it's just an experience of evolution and trying to find yourself, your footing, what it is you want in life, what it is you have to give up, what it is you have to come to terms with, and where it is that you want to aim. And because these characters, I believe, are multifaceted and they are imperfect in a perfect human way, I feel it allows storytellers and filmmakers and just people at large to realize that a trans character is just a character that can have a full life.
Anybody watching can see themselves in these characters, and they just happen to be Iranian American and trans and Asian American and how they identify and if they're a mother or not, or, you know, however somebody presents themselves in the world, that there's so many layers underneath all of that. And I think that, you know, I feel like we're at a place now in cinema where we are seeing multi-layered characters for people who are not normally shown on the big screen and in big parts. And now is the time. Now is the time for people to actually see themselves, and for people who aren't directly reflected in the story to start thinking about how others experience life.
If you like this interview, you can check out more of my South by Southwest coverage right over here, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.